Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday afternoon during your lunchtime on a very topical thing about our consumer spending and most specifically on groceries. So what I would like to do this afternoon is just share some ideas that we have picked up over the years on how you can actually make more out of your money. I always say that I want my money to work as hard for me as I worked for it. So I don't want to waste money. I don't want to spend it unnecessary or not get value for money. So this afternoon, I'm going to share a few of the tricks and tips that I have seen, and you are more than welcome to also add yours at the end. So first thing I want to start off with is the concept that Robert Kiyosaki actually introduced me to. And that is that us as normal middle-class people, and I see us all joining here this afternoon as part of the middle class, we earn a salary. You probably live in an average neighborhood, drive an average car, unless you are a bit better off than the rest of us. But for most of us, we earn an income, and from there, we earn an income, we pay our debt and our expenses, and we have nothing left at the end of the day. And then we cannot do the things that's really important for us, taking the family on an holiday, saving for retirement, etc. So this afternoon, I'm going to see, but what can we do to work on this portion of the expenses? It's not going to be a very long session, but hopefully some valuable aspects. Now, first of all, we can divide all our expenses in basically 5 categories. Life and death needs. That's our emergency medical care. When you're in an accident, you want to go to a good hospital facility. Food or groceries that we are going to talk about this afternoon. That we will die if we don't have that. Then we have some basic needs, a place to stay, vehicle or transport expenses, essential insurance, that for those of you who belong to a group scheme, that will be included there, and basic clothing. And like a good colleague of mine always say, that's not the clothing with the right mark, the branded ones. Then we have extended needs. That's things that really makes life easier. Telephone, essential insurance, saving for the future, repayments of loans. You will see this first thing are all needs. And then we get to life enhancers, things that's making our life better. Entertainment, DSTV, movies, dining out, travel and holiday expenses, non-essential clothing. You can wear branded clothing, of course, but see where it fits. Pets, and then free spending. That are the things like impulsive buying things that you don't really use, just mindless entertainment. If you want to buy a lotto ticket every now and again, or put some money into a gambling machine. And the important thing is that we need to know what we spend our money on are classified here. Because if I don't have enough money every month, if I cannot pay all my needs, I need to start cutting off free spending and life enhancers. That's the only way. And I want to motivate you, challenge you this afternoon to go and classify your spending. Take your bank statements for a month or two, classify your spending in these 5 categories. And if your budget does not work, if you have too much months left at the end of your month, or too much month left, go and have a look at where you can save and be honest with yourself. Okay, but that's not why you are here. That's introduction. So I call the heading here, finding money you thought you never had. So in general, how can you save money? The first thing there is, don't buy expensive items on impulse. Think about it. If you set out to go and buy a new TV, washing machine, whatever, microwave oven, do your research. Google a bit, read up on prices of the different makes. These days, we can all Google the reviews of the different items. Don't just walk into the first store and first price take that. I often stand within one of the big chain stores. I see the fridge, then I Google. I see, but what is it? What does it cost me on an online store? What's the review before I buy it? And in that way, you can actually save quite a bit of money, because sometimes it's cheaper to have something delivered, even like as big as a fridge, to our house, than to buy it in a store. I think we are all now at the stage that we know we should not waste electricity and water. Just turning off lights, fixing taps that's leaking. Consider price and quality. I said earlier, of course you can buy branded clothing, but not all branded clothing paying a lot more means that it's better quality. So whenever you need to buy something, think, does this price really reflect the quality and the time I will be able to use it? If you want to buy a branded shirt for yourself, it's probably going to be worthwhile, because unless you enjoy eating quite a lot, you will probably not grow anymore. So that's fine. But if you have primary school children, and I had 4 of them at the stage, I mean, they are like sprouts shooting out. It doesn't help buying them the best quality clothes, because before it's worn out, they have outgrown that. Then number 4, if you get to larger purchases, always negotiate. The worst the person can say is no. So always just ask, is this your best price? What about adding this, etc.? And then lastly, in the general, it adds to what I said at the beginning on buying expensive items. Just shop around and compare prices. So that may mean that you have to go to Checkers and ShopRite and Pick n Pay and Spar and just get an idea of the general price for certain items. And the one example I like there is dining out. Here in Potchefstroom, where I'm located, there are different restaurants, and all of them have some or kind special evening. At the one, you can get half-price burgers on a Monday. On a Thursday, it's half-price pizza, and then very good price steaks on a Wednesday at another one. Use that. I have done the calculations. And my kids know by now, they even joke about me at work, saying that if you want to know where's the specials at the restaurants, ask Jaco. But I know. And what now happens is that we go out to the specials, and therefore we can eat out twice as much as we would normally have, because we normally get half price on everything. So instead of going out once every 2 months, we can now go out a family of 6 every month. And it costs us the same. So just by doing a little bit of planning, and when we want to go out the evening, I quickly just go on Facebook, see which restaurants have specials tonight, and see which ones would we like to go. Okay. Groceries. That was the one that was advertised. Number 1, buy in bulk. 2 reasons for that. It's often cheaper if you buy a 6-pack than a single item. And if you buy a little bit in bulk so that you don't need to go and stop at the store every day, it saves you petrol money. And if you are like me, I always buy something nice when I'm in the store. That was not needed at that time. So there's 2 reasons to actually buy in bulk. But most of, or many supermarkets these days have the cost per item on the shelf. Have a look at that and compare. Because sometimes the larger or the bulk item is not cheaper. Then look out for recurring specials. I am doing the weekly shopping in our house. So I more or less know what the specials is that will always come up at certain of the stores. And when I get there, and that specials is often 20% off on chips or milk or cheese or whatever, I look out for that. And if it's groceries. But if you buy on a sale, only buy what you need. Because if you, and that doesn't mean only this week. If you know you will use some OMO in 2 weeks' time, you can, of course, buy it today and not wait just because it's not all used up right now. But for example, if you see a lot of sweets that you would otherwise not have bought and you buy it now because it's on special, you don't save. My father-in-law always say that you cannot save while spending money, and that's the truth. Then take advantage of consumer loyalty programs. All these chain stores, supermarkets have those, and I've checked them. It's very nice. Every day it takes you when you swipe your card up to 5% off on what you purchase. That together with the other 20% already can make a huge difference on your grocery bill. And you can even, most of these loyalty programs, you can even just work with your phone number on your phone. So take the time to once get the loyalty card and save the money from there. Then pack food for work. I always watch the younger guys. They go and buy at the canteen or the supermarket or the cafeteria, or they stop for coffee. Now, I also like my coffee, so I often stop for coffee. But if you don't have money to pay for the essentials, by packing food to work or not buying a cup of coffee takeaway at 30 rands a day, which is, I think, quite cheap, that saves you 600 rands per month. And I always say, if you don't tell me you cannot save for retirement, but you spend 600 rands a month on coffee. Let your spouse with the stronger will do the shopping. That will not buy all the nice to haves. Make a list when you go shopping. That part my wife does. And when I stick to the list, it costs us much less. Don't buy the items at the till. There's a whole psychology about how the stores are laid out. The items are at the till, they want you to buy them. There's often high profit margins on them. Then I've seen it myself. Don't go to the stores on an empty stomach, because you just buy more because you are so hungry. And lastly, plan to eat your leftovers. You know, I once read an article that a third of all the costs of all the food that's being prepared in the world is thrown away. And that for me is so terrible. There's so many people that goes hungry every day, and we throw away so much of the food. So in our house, between me and my wife, we try to split the duties. I'm responsible for breakfast while she's getting the kids ready. So I always look at what do we have left of yesterday evening, and how can I, it's a challenge for me. What can I do with that for breakfast to give it new life and make it enjoyable? So that's always an option. Then on a few other things. Clothing, don't buy brand names unless it's on special. I like to wear brand name clothes. I always say it fits my body, but I've never paid full price. I always go at the end of the season, or when I go through the mall, I always just check in at one or two of the stores and see if they have specials. Is there anything that fit me? Gifts, that's always a thing that can get out of hand, because you bought me a gift of 200, I must now buy back one for 300. So if you are in families, agree on a limit for gifts. And even with kids, it's not about the gift. One year we had a whole Christmas outing, takeaways and gifts for 500 rands. And today, I think we bought gifts for 20 or 30 rands per person. And the kids still talk about that one time. They got cheap gifts, but it was the best fun because we did it together and we looked for, it was a challenge to get gifts for each other. And then we also buy gifts when it's on sale. We know that the kids will attend some birthday parties. We need some for the grandparents, some gifts for the brothers and sisters. So whenever there's a sale on toys, etc., especially over Christmas or after Christmas, we buy some, stock it in the cupboard. It saves you time and money running children's hair. That's saving me probably 200-300 rands a month that we can spend on something else. So it's not about being stingy. I just ask myself, but is there not something better I can do with that money? Cancel banking, cell phone, and other services you don't need. Just go and look on your cell phone statement. What things have you activated that you are never using? Go and look at your bank statement. What are you paying for every month for things that you don't use? I often get clients in my office. And when we start to do their retirement planning, we cancel 5, 6 things that they are paying for and never use. And then lastly, adjust your geyser temperature. It's not necessary to be so hot in the summer. And when it needs to be replaced, look at a solar geyser. I've done that at my house, and I think we saved about 25% on the electricity bill just by changing to solar geysers. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my story this afternoon on a few ideas to make more or get more out of your money. I'm going to allow a few questions, or if any of you would like to make a comment or share an idea, you are also more than welcome. Hey, if there are no comments or nobody else would like to make a comment, I'm just going to take the opportunity to invite you to our session next month, when unfortunately you will have to sit with me again, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how to think about our retirement planning. Because the best advice is start sooner than later, and I'm going to share a few ideas that you don't need to have millions set away or start with saving thousands a month. But that's the topic for next week or next month. Ladies and gents, that's it from my side. You still have some time left to enjoy your lunch, and we will share this recording, and you are welcome to share it as wide as you would like to. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.